With this series of videos to recommend you movies, but movies that have some life lessons, something that we can take away from. So life coaching, pills kind of thing, some kind of wisdom that the movie comes with through the stories, through the lives of these characters. And this is kind of the idea of this series of videos. The movie Inmersion, so choosing movies to watch in English, but the way I like to do it, it's through a very mindful watch. So it means that what are the takeaways from the movie, what are the lessons from the movie, the things that we can learn from our life. And the movie I want to recommend you today is Sound of Metal. So this is a movie played by Riz Ahmed. That is, in my opinion, one of the best actors of his generation. I think this is one of his best performances. So I really wanted to recommend you this movie, and also because the movie explores the idea of identity and languages and how this intertwines. So I'm gonna tell you a little review of the movie, of the story, using different also expressions. So you can check in the glossary first, and then watch this and try to understand the meaning of this. I'm much easier to understand, so hopefully with the glossary there, it's gonna be even much easier. So, Sound of Metal tells the story of Ruben. Ruben, the character played by Riz Ahmed, it's a heavy metal drum player, and he lives in this converted RV with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend is like the singer in the band, so they have this band and they go, from gig to gig and like touring around the States. And like the turning point of the movie, it's when Ruben starts to lose his hearing. So this is kind of turns his life upside down, and now he's losing everything that has built his identity to that point, because his life was quite very, very well organized, and you see that in the way the story is being told, because you see how like the details. He also has the producing sound studio in the RV, so it's like they are living this kind of life in a bubble, and everything is under control. But in this moment of the movie, his life changes completely. It's the life forces him to start to reevaluate and reconsider everything that he has, created his life around, as a result of start losing his hearing. So, as part of this process of becoming this new identity, he is in this transformation process in his life. He goes to a retreat for the deaf community there to explore this deaf culture, and you see that in that moment of the movie how he's starting to explore this new reality, this new culture, and how this belonging to this new culture comes with this new language, this American Sign Language. And actually Riz Ahmed, when he talks about exploring and creating the character, he talks about being immersed in both worlds, both as a drum player, like learning the drums. He used to be a musician, the actor, but to play the drums, and then also the universe of the sign language and immersing himself in the deaf culture. And I actually thought that was really interesting, because I think it's the first movie I watched where the deaf community is represented, or that I have an understanding of this culture. And one of the messages the movie brings is that this is a culture. It's not something to fight against. It's not a disability, it's a culture. And actually Riz Ahmed explains in his process of creating the character that he become a better listener as a result of learning sign language. Because sign language, imagine you don't use language anymore, it's all about expressing through your body. So it's kind of a way it forces you to be much more present, not in your mind. So you are actually, it invites you to listen better other people, and a much more level of presence as a communicator. I thought it was really interesting that, all the process that the character goes through is about this letting go of an identity he used to have as a hearing person and embracing this new identity as a, belonging to this new community, the deaf community. And I thought it was fascinating how else they tell the story, because the movie tells you the story using the sound design very precisely. Like, they use the sound design to tell you like the different things, like when the character gets implants and it's very distorted, the noise, and you can feel with the character. Like, it's a great way to be very empathetic with the character's story, and it makes you question, makes you think a lot. In my case, I thought a lot about how life sometimes forces you to go through things, and instead of fighting against them, you have to let go of that identity you used to have and embrace this new. It's kind of a dissolution of the ego or something, but you welcome more aspects of yourself, and it's becoming into this new identity. I think language learning is also about that. Introducing yourself into different cultures, you introduce yourself into different languages as well. So I find a lot of parallels, with that. Of course, sign language is a new language, a new culture. So I thought that was really interesting. And the part of acceptance, I'm trying not to spoil you anything, but the part of acceptance, to me, it's kind of the most interesting thing, and how the character expresses that. I was mind blown by his performance.